Enough of your thoughts and prayers. Enough. Enough. You will not stop us from advancing the Protecting Our Kids Act today. You will not stop us from passing it in the House next week, and you will not stop us there. If the filibuster obstructs us, we will abolish it. If the Supreme Court objects, we will expand it, and we will not rest until we have taken weapons of war out of circulation in our communities.
Wow, that sounds all very sane to me. Joining me now, Congressman Dan Bishop, one of the good ones from North Carolina. Congressman, okay, can you please just tell me that guy's a wing nut and they're not going to be abolishing filibusters and passing this stupid bill?
Well, I wish I could tell you that, Jesse. I think the thing about Mondaire Jones is he says out loud what it took 9.5 hours to reveal from any number of other Democrats. You have David Cicilline from Rhode Island saying, spare me the bullshit about constitutional rights. You know, it went on and on. So no, I was pleased and appreciated the fact that he told us who he was, but he is not alone.
Yeah, maybe we should applaud his honesty. By the way, that David Cicilline had another great little bite. I'll play it for you here. I'm sure you heard it in person.
I don't think there is a single incident, and maybe there's one, but I've not found one, of an assailant using an assault weapon that was stopped by a person with a gun. So this is maybe there's one of the thousands and thousands and thousands of shootings.
Congressman, now, I don't know that guy personally, and this is generally not an insult at all, but what he just said is an obvious lie. It takes 5 seconds on your phone and you figure out that is a lie, and yet he said it. Is he a liar? Does he only watch CNN and lives in a world of make-believe? Is he, and I have a hard time believing this, is he just an evil person? How can you say things that are easily verifiable lies?
Thomas Massey from Kentucky responded to that by reading off a list of events. And everybody in the country knows that the woman in West Virginia had stopped a shooter with an AR-15 just a week before. That was one of probably 25 or 30 cases that Thomas read off. If David Cicilline was embarrassed about his error, he didn't come back and say, my goodness, my mistake, I was totally wrong, so you can draw your own conclusions. Look, the Democratic Party as a whole, and certainly everyone on the House Judiciary Committee, does not want Americans to have, to keep and bear arms. It's just that simple. And they've made it really clear. They've told us who they are. The only question is how Republicans will react to that. As for me, I'm not joining in the gun grabbers. I'm not going to give them any ground.
Why do they want them so bad? Because, Congressman, I'll be honest with you. I can't help but question their motivations, because you can bring up all the facts in the world about all the shootings in high gun control areas and whatnot. And the fact after fact after fact can be presented to these people, and yet they still push forward as if the facts don't exist. So do they just want to disarm us for a different reason?
You know, Jesse, I actually follow you pretty closely, and one of the things you make the point about often is you got to know who you're up against. You've got to get a real feel for it. This is not adjusting things at the margin. It's not about, they use the phrase common sense gun regulation, but over and over they have demonstrated that they're hostile to the idea that the Second Amendment confers an individual right to keep and bear arms, as fundamental to American democracy and freedom as that has been. But that's not it. We're 2 weeks following their disinformation board and all the other stuff about that, where they're antagonistic to the First Amendment. They think people need to be stymied and shut up so that they can't speak out, because they think the conclusions that will be drawn will be adverse to the implications for their power. They do not. They're against the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment of due process for red flag laws. They don't care about the Bill of Rights. They're not. They're trying to transform the nation fundamentally. They believe they need unabated, exclusive power to do that.
Don't miss Jesse Kelly Breaks History, Che Guevara, the latest episode of a new series available now exclusively for First TV supporters. Visit the First TV app or thefirsttv.com to subscribe and start watching today.